The Divi 5 attributes feature is actually very, very good, but it took me a while for me to work out how I can apply it into my Divi 5 design workflow. So let me share with you my findings. So over here, I've created a blurb. I just given it a border here, and it's just something so basic. So let's say I want to create another blurb. So I'm going to search here for blurb like that. And then I'm just going to add it. So as you can see, this one here is plain. It doesn't have anything on it. So for us now to start using this attributes feature, what we need to do is to right click on it. And then we come over here to copy attributes. Okay. You can also use shortcuts, Shift Command C on a Mac. But in this case, I'm just going to click on copy attributes. Okay. So there are several ways that you can use this attributes feature. First of all, if we come over here and right click, we can go to paste attributes. Now, the first option here is to paste all blurb attributes. Boom. Now, what that does is it literally just duplicates the first blurb. As you can see, everything is just there. Okay, but perhaps maybe we don't want to do that. So let's try another way. If I right click, I can come over here to paste attributes, but this time I want to paste the design attributes. Now look at this. Now watch the content, because the content is going to stay the same. Okay, so you can see here, my text, my description text is pretty much stayed the same. The only thing that was changed here is my border and my background. So I think this is a very good feature if you're designing, something from scratch and you want to take the attributes from one item that you've already designed and apply it to the next. Okay, so let's move on to the other one. I'm just going to do Control Z here so I can go back to how things were. Next, I can also paste the blurb styles. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And I think that as the styles actually not too different from these attributes here, which are the design attributes, but I'm yet to go in and really work out what those are. Now there's also content attributes. Now I don't know why you'd want to do that, but of course you can go in and just add the content only. Now watch what happens when I say blurb content. So you see now it has brought in the image and this text as it is over here. Now I can see some workflows where you'd like to use that, but this is a very, very good option. This feature is just amazing. All right, so let's try a few more. So we have paste attributes here. Now I can also come over here and say paste select design attributes here. Now I can go in and paste the image or icon attributes. Now this is going really deep now into the specifics. Now I can also go for spacing. So I can just go with just spacing, just like that. And now I have the spacing. So you can see here, I have my padding around. So this attributes feature here, I think is really powerful. Now, do you remember we used to have extend styles? I think this is a bit like extend styles, but even more advanced. But of course, with this, I can't really do it across like the whole section. But it's kind of like similar. I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. Anyway, so it got me thinking that, okay, we are doing this across blurbs, right? What if I were to use the SiteKrafter Divi 5 framework? How does that work? Does this actually work? Let's go ahead and try this out. So I'm going to go in here and create a blurb. I'm using a blurb as an example here, but you can use pretty much anything. Okay, so let's go ahead and just stylize this using SiteKrafter settings. So I'm going to come over here, CSS ID and classes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a background. So I'm going to say BG gray. Let's go with gray 50. Okay. So by the way, for those of you that are not sure what I'm doing, I'm actually using my SiteKrafter Divi 5 framework. This is a class-based design system. It's really fast. And I also have a discount in the link in the video description below. It's 40% off. If you purchase that, you get lifetime license. Anyway, so BG Gray 50, you can see now I have my slide background there. I'm also going to add a padding. So I'm going to say PAD, and I'm going to go with large. Okay, in fact, let's go with medium. Large is a bit too much. Okay, there we go. So I've got my medium, but what I also want to do is I want to do a hover effect as well to this. So I'm going to say hover, and for my hover, I'm going to say scale. Okay, So let's see what it looks like. There we go. So you can see here my hover is scaling. So with this now, I'm curious to see if my styles can be also taken over to this. Okay, so let's right click and then say copy attributes. And then I want to come over here, right click and then paste attributes. So I want to go in and say style attributes and see how that works. Okay, look at that. Now my hover effect has been added, but I'm also still curious to see if this has taken all my CSS ID, my CSS classes over. And sure enough, my classes have been taken over. This is really, really cool. This is amazing. For those of you that have purchased the SiteKrafter Pro Divi 5 framework, this is amazing. All right, so let's do something else here. So let's create a button here like that. And for this button here, we are going to stylize this. So we're going to go in and go into our button here, use custom styles. And I'm going to go in now into the background. Let's add this as our background color. And then we're going to go to our spacing. So for our spacing padding here, we're going to go with 16 pixels. So I'm just going to go crazy here so that you can see the changes that I'm actually making. So on the sides here, I'm going to go with 36. So we have a huge button. Okay. And then finally, I need to change my text color here. In fact, let's go back to our button. So we need to go to our button text, set this to white. But you can see here that this button here does not have that hover effect. So what works now is, or how it works is, if I come over here and I really want that hover effect to be on the button, I can right click, copy attributes. Now let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to right click over here and then I'm going to paste my design attributes. Okay, now let's see. Look at that. The hover effect is working. So these attributes can be used across all these modules, which makes it really, really, really powerful. And this allows you to even have a more consistent design across board because you are copying all the attributes from other items that you're designing and you're adding them onto each and every specific module that you're working with. So let's try something different here. I'm going to come over here. And this time I'm going to add a call to action just to show you that this actually works across board. Right, so I have my call to action here, but maybe I want to have this light background here. So I'm going to right click, copy attributes. So first of all, let's go in and paste my design attributes. So I'm going to say paste, and then I'm going to say design attributes. Okay, so notice that my text has changed, and now when I hover over it, it's now working. Now let's do a Control Z here. Let's go back to how we were. So this time I'm going to paste my attributes, but I want to paste my content attributes. In fact, let's copy from here. Let's do the attributes from here. So copy attributes, and then we're going to paste, but this time I'm going to do the blurb content attributes. Now watch what happens. Look at that. So now it's taken my text here and added it over here. And also notice that my zoom is not working, or that style that I had is not working. But if I come in again and then I say style attributes, it now takes on the background of this blurb. And you can see now it has been added there. But now if I zoom, if I put my mouse over, it zooms in. So it has taken now my style attributes. So let's say you are working on a starter site. You've imported everything from your starter site and you'd like to perhaps use this feature to then further customize the design. Here's what happens. I want to do this on this blurb right here. So as you can see, things are out of order. So if I were to right click over here, I can actually go in and reset all attributes. Now I really like this because I can reset the attributes here and everything goes, but we don't want to do that. I'm going to right click, and there's also another option. We can actually go in and reset the presets. This is really, really cool. Now imagine trying to go in here, going to the presets and trying to go in and undo a lot of these actions that were done before. Now for this feature now, we can just reset the attributes and now I'm back to just a normal blurb. So from this point onwards, I can go in now and start customizing this. So I'm going to go in first and then let's say I want to work on the icon. I can go to my image and icon here, reduce the size like that. And maybe I might want to change the background. So we're going to come over here. And for the background here, let's go with something like that. And then I may also want to add a bit of padding. So I'm going to go in. Now I'm doing this manually. Now, normally I would use my SiteKrafter Pro framework to make things easier for me. So let's go for our spacing. Now over here on the spacing, let's go with 2 rem. So we're going to apply this across everything really. Okay, so let's go with 2 rem as well here on the left and the right side. Okay, so now that I've finished my design, I would like to apply this over here. So the first thing you need to do is to head over here and reset these attributes. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, reset presets. Okay, so now that I've reset this, I can now right click, copy attributes, and then I can go in now and paste. But this time I'm pasting my design attributes because I want to leave the text as it is. Boom, just like that. And now I have a quick way of going in and just fixing what was initially, over here. Now, if there's anything else I need to add, I can always go in and add. But now I want to show you something very interesting. If I right click on this one here, copy attributes, I can actually go to one of my items here that I was designing and I can paste the design. Look at that. And now my design has been pasted and I've taken it from a totally different page. So I can actually paste from different pages. Isn't that cool? Now, this feature here is for me a game changer because I can quickly go in, make all these changes. And if I want to, I can then save this as a preset. So I can come over here, select it. And then I can come over here, create new preset from current style, name it, and now I have a new preset. So across my whole website, I can now have presets that have styling that is pretty much the same across board. So this is a really cool feature. Go ahead, check it out. If you haven't signed up for Divi University yet, go ahead and do that. This is a community of Divi designers. It's absolutely free. So go ahead. The link to that is also in the video description below. Until next time, thanks for watching and I'll see you again in the next one. Take care.